guys, we are on the road on a road trip in India through Kerala, Karnataka and Goa, and we are taking our Ayurvedic lifestyle on the road. I hope you'll follow us and get some interesting information from our vlog. See you soon. Hi everyone, seekers. I thought I'd make a short video before we head out from our stay in Wayanad, which was lovely. We spent 2 full days here, and I wanted to make this video just fresh off of our experience yesterday with Abhyanga Massage. So actually part of our trip and part of our maintaining an Ayurvedic lifestyle, especially during a motorcycle journey that we are doing, is to treat ourselves to a few Ayurvedic treatments along the way. And we planned it out in such a way that we would get some stops that would give us a little bit more time per destination so that we could actually enjoy some rest, some relaxation, and some rehabilitation from the road and from the motorcycle ride. And so we tried to compensate, the conditions of the road with some helpful and healing therapies. So yesterday was our experience here in Wayanad, a mountain destination in Kerala. And you probably know Kerala as the home of Ayurveda. The history is certainly more complex than that, and Ayurveda is known to have kind of come into prominence primarily in North India, but was preserved by South India and the smaller schools and the smaller clinics that arose in the rural areas that actually maintained as well as preserved and protected Ayurveda at the time when India was invaded and North India was conquered, and a lot of its ancient traditions were unfortunately eradicated. Time, even in South India, Ayurveda saw some difficult times during the colonial British rule, where it was quite extensively attacked, and all the modes of traditional healing as well as various practices were under a lot of persecution. If anyone is interested, you can look up that history, but it is a somewhat gruesome and saddening history, but that is actually one of the explanations for why Ayurveda had a little bit of a decline during the colonial imperial years, and is now coming back into prominence once again, as we are all recognizing the broad scope and the effective level of the treatments in approaching the body in a holistic way. So getting back to the Abhiyanga Massage, which you will encounter if you visit India and particularly Kerala, as one of the most typical and one of the most just kind of introductory treatments to your Ayurvedic experience. Specifically for Abhyanga, this is a preparatory massage. So you may have heard of the Panchakarma therapy, which basically translates to 5-action therapy. Pancha meaning 5, karma meaning action, therapy. So the Panchakarma therapy is actually a very profound way of detoxing the body in 5 steps. However, to begin the process of detoxification, the body must be prepared. Of course, anyone who is enlisting for Panchakarma therapy probably has reasons for that. It is some type of ailment or some level of irregularity in the body that needs to be accounted for. Obviously the body gets there by way of certain harmful practices or a lack of attention to a proper lifestyle, and so the body gets out of balance and requires retuning by way of detoxification. But to get the body to be ready to accept this process, one has to remind the body what it is actually capable of doing. And so the Abhiyanga Massage is actually a kind of way of reconnecting the various parts of the body, creating a greater level of communication, unblocking whatever stagnant or stale energies that are present in particular aspects or parts of the body. And it primarily has an effect on the neuro system as well as the circulatory system. So neurological system has to do with communication, basically of the electric charges passing through our body so that one piece of information can travel to another part of the body by way of the neurons and the nervous system. And circulatory system, as of course we know, this is the blood delivering all the nutrients and various components that are necessary to nourish the body, as well as deliver the medicines or deliver whatever effect in terms of purification and detoxification that is needed for the body. Abianga Massage, that's really what is there to do. It's to reconnect the communication lines as well as the circulation of the necessary components for the process to take place. If we don't do this step, then the therapy which is administered through Panchakarma is pretty much rendered almost useless or possibly even very harmful. Because if there is a blockage somewhere in the body where either the blood is not passing properly or the communication is not happening properly, then whatever therapy we are administering, which is much of a more intense nature with medicines and as well as particular treatments that actually go very, very deep into the cellular level of the body, we run the chance of blocking up an area even more, or delivering too much medicine and that getting stuck in an area that is stagnant and non-moving. So with Abhyanga, we are trying to reintroduce movement into the body. We are trying to reintroduce healthy communication across the board, across the body. And so when you experience an Abhyanga massage, you will notice that because the movements of the massage actually run all the way across your entire body. Parts are treated slightly separately, like your arms, your extremities, your torso, your back, your head, your shoulders. All of that is treated a little bit more in depth with some massaging of the muscles and getting the blood to flow in and out and pulsate in and out of the tissues. However, the most important aspect of Abhyanga is to then reconnect all of these parts, and these reconnecting movements are the signature of the Abhyanga massage and Abhyanga treatment. Together with the movement, we also will feel the activation of certain Marma points. Marma points are basically the vital points of the body. This is where the intersection of various nervous ends as well as the circulatory vessels come into one area that is in many ways more dense in terms of those particular areas of connection. And so in that sense, that point is more vital because by stimulating that point, we're actually stimulating the ends or the intersection of a very dense area that helps the information to travel more effectively, as well as the distribution of nutrients to happen more successfully. At the same time, these vital points are vital to our life, and damage and harm to these points would actually result in permanent damage to the body and even possibly death. These are the points that have been studied very extensively in the martial art traditions, but also in the healing traditions, which are part and parcel of the martial art tradition as well. And these are also mentioned very extensively in the surgical methods of Ayurveda that have been explained extensively by Sushruta in Ashtanga, I'm forgetting the Sangraha, I believe, where he has gone to the point of saying that no surgical incisions should be made anywhere near the vital points. And this is actually also repeated in the Buddhist texts, in the section on medicine, where the vital points are actually mentioned as points where no incisions should be made around those points. Anyways, this is a very well-known fact in Ayurveda, but it is a very interesting separate topic, and we'll talk about Marma therapy, specifically the vital point therapy, which is very, very interesting and is sort of one of the practices that I enjoy the most and I find to be very effective as a treatment. But when it comes to Abhyanga, Marma therapy becomes an inevitable part of the Abhyanga treatment, because as we pass across the body with very fluid movements in the Abhyanga treatment, we are also touching these Marma points, and we are running along the lines that connect these Marma points and reestablish better communication between these vital points. We are passing through this wilderness area, which is the Nagarhole Tiger Reserve, and we just made a quick stop on the road just to kind of relax, take a small break, and just enjoy the nature and the surroundings all around us. So just giving you a glimpse of the nice wild nature that we have been crossing through while on our trip, now moving toward the Karnataka state and leaving Kerala behind. So we just stopped here at a little resting point inside the wild jungle, and we passed some nice areas where we saw some elephants. It didn't look like they were wild elephants because they actually were chained and had some bells on their necks. So we are thinking those were temple elephants that were just on the pasture. But this area actually is a tiger reserve, and of course we are not going to be able to see the tiger, but we did see a hornbill and we did see some deer. So sometimes just by passing through we get a chance to see a little bit of wildlife. But I also wanted to share with you a little natural candy that we got along the way in a little stall. So actually this is some dried amla, which is a local fruit that is also eaten as a pickle. But in this case, this is a dried variety, which kind of looks like dried ginger, but is not as strong as ginger. It's just nice and a little bit soury. And we do like to pick things that are locally made and pretty natural, even for our sweets. We try to stay away from some trucks passing by. And then a second candy, which is made out of tamarind. I'll come a little closer. And just little balls of tamarind paste mixed with sugar. So nothing too impressive, but when you taste it, it's actually pretty delicious. And this one has a little bit of a bite because tamarind is pretty sour, but it's a really nice combination of sour and sweet. Totally natural, no need to process, just collect the tamarind and enjoy. We'll see you next time. So Abhyanga is a wonderful way to enjoy an introductory treatment in Ayurveda, and it is a very relaxing. Actually, yesterday the therapist was excellent, and I practically was knocked out. It was so relaxing. When I came home, I just felt like not doing anything and just going straight to bed, which was a very, very good sign. It doesn't happen with every therapy that I've received, but when it happens, I know that that's an indication that the therapist was very thorough and that she was also very intuitive to pick up on the areas that needed a little bit extra attention. So with that, I want to conclude this short video on Abhyanga, and just to give you a little look into our Ayurvedic lifestyle on the road. As we are traveling by motorcycle, we are not forgetting to make sure that we give ourselves downtime to relax, to recuperate. And as we are changing locations practically every night, we try to stop for a couple or 3 nights in some places where we can enjoy a little bit more exploring in the area. And so Wayanad was one of these locations. And now we are on to our next destination, which is Bilakup. I don't know if any of you know, it's also a new destination for me, but it is one of the largest settlements of Tibetan refugees here in India. Besides the Dharamsala, which is a very famous location. But in the South India, and as I understand in terms of the population size, Bilakup is one of the larger settlements. So we are very much looking forward to visiting this sort of Buddhist part of India, as of course we like to explore areas that unite both philosophies, and hopefully I'll be able to share some insights from that new location. Okay, until next time, I hope you are enjoying our vlog, and may all beings be well and happy. Ayurveda.